Giving up driving is one of the most difficult things for us to do, particularly as men. But sooner or later, everyone is going to stop driving. And once we deal with that reality, then it becomes much easier to strategize, to create a plan for dealing with it. When I was a child growing up, my father used to say to my brother and I, get in front of your problems, head them off. My father was a master at this. And when he was 75 years of age, he decided to stop driving at night, but continued to drive in the daytime. Perhaps a year later, he decided to stop driving on the interstate, where you were doing 60 and 70 and 75 miles an hour. And then there came a time that he only drove right around where he lived. And shortly after he got his last driver's permit, he stopped driving altogether. This was a process that he wanted to stay in control of. It was a process that he wanted to make the decisions on, and I still think about that in my own life. How will I deal with that reality? But he stayed in control, and he was realistic about it. There are 3 markers I want to share with you that I think begin to say to you that it's time to start the process of giving up driving. One of them is disorientation. Now, what is disorientation? Disorientation occurs when we're driving on a route that we've been on many, many times, and all of a sudden, nothing looks familiar to us. It's as if we're in a place we've never been before, when in reality, we've been there many times. It's as if the car is traveling faster than our brain can process the information. And within a few minutes, we become orientated and we're okay, but it's frightening and it's scary. Now, that doesn't mean that you should give up driving, but it's one of those markers to begin to think about, I need to get in front of this. Another one is fender benders, and I'm not talking about wrecks. I'm talking about backing out of your garage and scraping the side of the door. I'm talking about hitting one of those posts at the drive-thru at McDonald's. I'm talking about backing into someone at the Walmart. When 3 of these occur within the course of 6 to 9 months, that's a marker. The final one isn't probably as easy to recognize for you, but probably is for other people, and that's what I call road rage. And I'm not talking about your road rage. I'm talking about creating road rage. One of the ways that we compensate for the fact that we can't process information as quickly as we once did is that we drive slower. Instead of driving 65, we're driving 50. We get in the middle of an intersection and we're not quite sure which way to go, and we just sort of stop there and cars are honking at us. And it isn't long until people are gesturing and they're waving in unfriendly ways and they're giving us looks that do not look very appealing. When these 3 things begin to happen in your life, you need to start the process of giving up certain types of driving. Driving at night. Then I would give up interstate driving. And I would limit myself to routes just right around my house. And then eventually, I would deal with the reality that I shouldn't drive at all. And if you will make that decision, if you will initiate that process, it's so much better. And it's so much less offensive than when someone comes to you someday and says, hey, I need to take your keys. Get in front of it. Head it off. You make the decision and be in charge of it, and it's just so much better that way. This is Dr. Ken Dupin with another one of my helpful hints.